name is Max Shelkoff, and I am a senior consultant here at Engage by Cell. And we're going to be discussing how to unlock some different paths to success with the mobile technology that we offer. A little bit about Engage by Cell. So we've been in business for over 20 years now, and we are a cloud-based solution, software, SaaS, and we do pride ourselves in all of our human customer support. We definitely don't have a 1-800 number or some chatbot that you get directed to if you need assistance. As I'm sure some of you on the call are customers, you would gladly attest to that, that if you need assistance, you reach out to real human beings. That's how we like to be treated. So that's how we treat all of our customers. But another important part here, entirely based in the US, we don't outsource anything. We do everything in-house, and that's obviously cybersecurity becoming more important every day. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, how to succeed in workforce development using mobile technology. And this is going to be a little bit of a blend of a demonstration of the tools itself, but I'll start by kind of chatting a little bit on what the actual tools are and kind of what the challenges are. As all of you know, there's kind of two main challenges that Engage by Cell can help you overcome. And the first challenge is all about engagement, right? So all of us, if the primary tools in our toolbox are email and phone calls, it's getting exceedingly difficult, right? So people just don't answer email like they once did, and they certainly don't respond to phone calls, especially younger demographics. We all have caller ID, and if we don't recognize the phone number anymore, odds are we're not picking up the phone. So that's kind of the challenge there is the communication gap that's occurring due to people just not communicating as effectively with email and phone calls as they once were. So we built at Engage by Cell, built a text messaging platform kind of around the needs of workforce development. And inside of that texting tool, and I'll go into it in more detail, but there's a couple of different layers that are required to be successful in workforce development. So there's kind of a recruiting part of it where we all need to market the programs and services that we provide to the people. And part of the challenge in workforce development is a lot of people don't even know that some of these resources are available to them. So we need to market those resources out to the public and to help kind of alleviate that and overcome that challenge. We have a mass inbound component to our texting. So what does that look like? I'm sure all of you have seen these before, whether it was on a billboard, the side of a truck, whatever it might have been, walking into an office where there was a call to action that said something like, "Are you looking for a new career? Text jobs to XYZ phone number," right? And so what that does, it enables that person to have access to that call to action where they can text in and it will automatically text them back and respond automatically and say something along the lines of, "Hey, thank you for texting," so on and so forth. "This is the Career Center. We're going to help you get employed," whatever that messaging might be. But most importantly, what it does is it captures that person's phone number for you and helps you build that database of potential program participants or directs them to some eligibility form, whatever it might be. But it helps you market the services that you offer and encourage people to text in to learn about how you can help them. Next piece in the texting is obviously a mass outbound. So a couple clicks of a button, everybody in the database can receive a text saying, "Hey, job fair next Friday." Or it might be from automating a case management standpoint where all of us are bogged down trying to reach out to our caseload of 10, 20, 30, 40 plus people. And you can automate some of that follow-up to go out to them. And so you're automating your follow-up. And then the final piece is the one-on-one component. So we do have a feature called Text Chat that enables you to have those long format conversations with folks and actually get to the root of whatever you're trying to assist them with and have those conversations that you normally would have probably via phone or if you're texting right now, but you don't have a platform for kind of mass communications. If you're trying to do a one-by-one on your cell phone, it's getting pretty difficult. It's not necessarily scalable like our solution. So that's the first challenge is that engagement piece. And we help you overcome that with a text messaging solution. The second challenge is all about information accessibility. So all of you that are a part of a workforce development organization, One of the main challenges that we consistently run into in workforce is there are so many different programs, there's so much information, and it's kind of scattered all over the place, right? So that information, whether it's program information or an eligibility form or whatever the information might be, the challenge is they're spread out and it might be on this website, it might be on paper at the job center still, it might be for an upcoming job fair that you're hosting and you have the flyer and you have nowhere to put it, no way to market it, etc. So what we've done is build a mobile web app platform. And what that is we're all super familiar with the term app, right? We all have 40, 50 of them on our phone. And what the mobile web app is, it looks, feels, and acts as close to that hard downloaded app experience as possible, only it's entirely web-based, okay? So we do that with intention. One, it kind of breaks that hard download barrier. I don't know if any of you have ever gone down the path of trying to get someone to hard download an app, but it's getting exceedingly difficult. I'd have to catch that person on the phone. Hey, I hope you're doing well. Do you have an Apple? Do you have an Android? So on and so forth. Okay, you got to go to the App Store. You got to download this specific app, etc. And at the end of the conversation, the person might just say, hey, I'm not interested in having this on my phone. So it's kind of a download barrier that we help overcome by making all of this content in the mobile web app experience entirely web-based. So for the end user, they scan a QR code, boom, it pops up, or it pairs really, really well with the texting platform because again, you can push out a text. And if I was helping an individual, I could say, hey, I hope you're doing well. Click this link for me and upload your resume, and I'd be happy to help you. And they can click that link, boom, up pops a mobile web app. Inside of there, they can upload docs, view videos, fill out forms, etc. We'll go into that in more detail here once I share my screen. But those are kind of the two main challenges. Quick recap is that engagement component. People don't answer email, they don't pick up the phone anymore, so you have to start texting them, especially younger demographics. And then two is all about ramping up that information accessibility and just making it way more streamlined for getting the information to the people that they need, right? As you're trying to assist them. So as we dive in here, I'm still sharing my screen, I hope. Yes, I am. So you should see a QR code up on the screen. And if you want to scan that QR code, and I'll do it with you, it will prompt a text message into your texting app that says Max to the phone number 925-431-6822. Or if you want to manually do it, if you just open your text messaging app and text the word Max to this phone number, the 925-431-6822, you should get a text message back pretty quickly that says, thank you for texting the Career Center. We will keep you up to date on all career, education, and training opportunities. And that leads us into what the actual tools are. So what you're looking at here is the back end of the platform from an administrative side for Engage by Sell. Okay. So again, two main tools I'm going to cover kind of on how you can successfully overcome that engagement issue and that information accessibility challenge is going to be the texting and the mobile web app. And just so all of you are aware, to access our platforms, it's very easy. You just go to engagebysell.com. There's a little login button on the top right-hand side, and all of you would have your own login credentials. And once logged in, this is the page you would land on. And across the top here, there's a bunch of different tabs. And the ones I'm going to focus on today are going to be the text messaging, the mobile web app, reporting, and real quickly on the admin tab, just so you're all aware, because this is a frequently asked question, you can have different levels of kind of administrative access. So if I'm on this team and I need to stay in my lane, I can have those permissions. And if I'm a manager and I need to cover people while they're out, et cetera, things like that, you can easily kind of assign different roles and accessibility to different folks on your team. So real quickly with the text messaging platform, to get back to it, you would just click in this top little tab here and it will take you back to the texting. On the left side are a bunch of different tabs for the different kind of tools and capabilities that I discussed in the beginning here. So the mass inbound components to help you increase your enrollments, get more people participating in your programs, you're going to want to have that call to action so you can market out your services to the public, but also simultaneously capture their information when they do need it. So then you can reach out to them and see how you're going to help them. So the mass inbound component, so the manage inbound texting here, there's really kind of two main pieces to it. There's a primary keyword, and then down below there's a secondary keyword. With the primary keyword, that's what we all texted into, and you have your little QR code call to action. This again is just a call to action that you mark it out, you put on flyers, and I'll show you some examples of some of our customers, how they've kind of launched it. But again, this serves a couple of purposes. One, gives you that call to action. Two, will text them back, identifying who you are, what your goal is with communicating with them. Hey, I'm going to help you get employment. I'm going to help you get the skill up, the training that you need to get to either if you're underemployed or not employed, I'm going to help you get where you need to go or training, education, whatever it might be. And then third, and arguably most importantly, this little see subscribers button. It captures everybody's phone number that participated and had scanned that QR code for you. So that's the primary keyword here. Down below under secondary keywords, this is a really powerful tool for creating additional call to actions for all of the different kind of programs that you're offering, or if you want to have additional call to actions for different locations or different departments, etc. Most common, I see this get utilized for creating a call to action in workforce development that says jobs or career. So you can have that call to action that says, hey, text jobs to learn about all the amazing career opportunities local to you. So we'll create that real quick and we'll say there's so many amazing career opportunities local to you. To start your career search today, please click here. And what we're going to do, we're going to go over to, I'm just going to use Texas as an example. They have their kind of Texas website here, the workintexas.com, and that's just their state-sponsored kind of job board. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert that URL and provide people access to it. And I'm going to copy and paste that link, hit submit. Oh, I got to put www. Oh, bear with me here. Let's go. Workintexas.com. If it isn't working, we're going to go, there it is. All right. So we're going to grab this URL real quick, shorten it up, and hit paste and copy and paste and hit submit on our system. Our system will automatically shorten that URL and make it text message friendly because obviously sometimes some website URLs are massive, super long, and not text message friendly. So we'll shorten that up for you and hit save. And then now you can create a whole new list and call it webinar example. But imagine this is your job seeker list. So now you're building that contact list in that database of everybody who's texted in the word jobs. And so now you can start conducting outreach to them with the previous knowledge. Hey, these folks are specifically interested in learning more about what career opportunities there are locally to me. So you can build all these additional call to actions and attach additional little lists to them and build separate databases. So you could create keywords for different hiring industries in your area. So you could have one that says welding or medical, et cetera, all these different little buckets. And so people who are texting in the word welding, you're building that list of welders that then you can start pushing text messages out with specific employment opportunity information. So it's all about building and getting as targeted lists as possible so your outreach is more effective. Okay. And if you want to see what that looks like, go ahead and scan this QR code or just text the word jobs to that same 925 phone number, and you will get that text message back that we just created together. And if you click that link, it will redirect you to the workintexas.com job. All right. So that's kind of the mass inbound component. The next piece is doing a push out from a mass communication standpoint. Really, the two different use cases here. Obviously, one is more of kind of a blanket communications tool, super common use cases. If you're hosting any hiring events or you have new exciting employment opportunity or partnerships that you want to push out, or just general communications, hey, we have this new exciting program, or hey, summer youth programs are starting enrollment. Click here to enroll. Things of that kind of nature that you want to market out to the masses and do those mass communication pushes. That's kind of the first use case within the mass outbound. The second is more on kind of a micro level with the individual caseloads, or maybe it's broken down by department, but you can have your segmented caseload list of, it would be Max's caseload, or if I have my own little individual account within the platform, I can automate some of my follow-ups so that everybody in my caseload once a week, twice a week, whatever it is at minimum receiving a text message from me, just checking in, saying, hey, Max, I hope you're doing well. Don't forget, you can always text me back if you need assistance. So those are the two main use cases with the text messaging from an outbound perspective. So a little example here, and most common, we'll say job fair push. And in this box is where you create the text message you want to go out itself. So we could say job fair next Friday from noon to 5 p.m. Hiring on the spot. Please bring a resume. Click here to register. And again, you could have a website that redirects to the mobile web app where there's a sign up form, or if you host some other external resource that you want to push out to encourage people to sign up, or if you're hosting information about that job fair in the mobile web app, these are all super common examples of what kind of content people are pushing out. But I'm going to shorten that URL just like I did before, and I'm going to use that same work in Texas just as a little hypothetical. Hit submit. Our system shortens it, makes it short and sweet and text message friendly. Got a preview of it here on the right side. You can look it over. Hey, that looks pretty good. Step two is choose where you want it to go. So I'm going to choose the list that we're all on right now. And then if this is going out for a job fair I'm hosting next Friday, I might want to schedule it to go out a couple of times, right? So I'll hit them tomorrow, Friday, Wednesday, and maybe day before the event. So you can kind of automate and schedule these to go out in the future, make them recurring, weekly, monthly, however you'd like to do that. You can toggle those on this little drop down bar. And I'm just going to select unscheduled and hit send now. And all of us that scanned that keyword earlier just got our text message about the job fair next Friday. Okay. So that's what kind of the mass outbound component looks like. If I were a case manager wanting to automate some of my follow-up, I can do a real simple example. Hi, I hope you're doing well. Don't forget, you can always text me back if you need assistance. And you can actually personalize these as well. So we have these little personalization tokens, and I find it to be way more successful when you include those personalization tokens that addresses each individual on your list by their first name. So it would say, hey, Max, hey, Patty, hey, Karen, I hope you're doing well. Don't forget, you can always text me back if you need assistance, right? And if the individual's name isn't in the system, it won't look strange. It will actually just get rid of that token. So it'll just say hi. It won't look odd to the recipient there. But again, this is going to be my weekly caseload check-in here. So I would just select which list I want. And again, you can have as many different lists of subscribers as you want. So these folks might be broken down 100 different ways. We see that often, whether they're still working on eligibility, if they're searching for jobs, if they're going through training programs, if it's on the back end of the process and they're going through job verification, all of these lists are kind of already broken up internally on your end anyway. So you would do the same in our system because the messaging is going to be different, right? So you can have as many different lists. I'll just select the list we're all on. And then if I wanted to go out weekly, I would select, hey, I want it to go out every Thursday at 10 a.m. Excuse me. And you would select an end date just because we don't want it to run indefinitely. But if you wanted to plan ahead for the next couple months here, you would just select which day you want that alert to end and hit save. And so now you've kind of set it and forget it, and it's ready to go. Um, Next little piece here, just so you're all aware, job fair push. You can send picture messages. So you have four media types actually you can choose from. Text, pretty self-explanatory. Job fair. And then if you wanted to add an image to text out, just like you were sending a picture to your friend or whatever it might be, you can drag the image down in there and I'll upload an image real quick. And let's see here. Let's just grab a nice little public domain. There we go, United States Postal Service. So you have your little, we'll pretend that logo is a flyer for your upcoming event, or maybe you're partnering with the USPS for a hiring event, whatever it might be. And then just like before, you would select which list or lists you want to receive it and schedule it or hit send now, and it would go out. So just being aware. So now managing lists and subscribers, again, you can have as many different lists as you want, breaking them down however you want, either by different location, office, or different phases or stages they're at in the actual employment process. Super common, but you can manage those. You can create new lists, rename them, delete them, see how many folks are inside of those lists as needed, et cetera. And you can assign different time zones to them if that's applicable. Usually in workforce, it's not, but sometimes in states they might have multiple time zones, like Florida. So that way, if you schedule a text for 8 a.m., they're not getting it too early or too late. And then managing subscribers is where you can see all of the individuals that are in said list. Super easy to take the existing folks you're already working with. Obviously, all of you are already working with a lot of people, and you want to upload them into the system and add them to a list so you can start engaging with them. It's a very easy process. Just select which list or lists that you want them to go on. Hit this little upload subscribers button, and it's an Excel file, and it's very easy to format. Just call them A, B, and C, first name, last name, phone number, and then select which list or lists you want them to go on, hit OK, and you're good to go. So they're migrated into the system. Last little piece with texting before I jump over to the mobile web app is the one-on-one component. So we pushed out that text about the job fair. I'm going to do a little role play here, and I'm going to text back and say, I don't have my resume ready. Can you help me? And so I just sent that text. And in the system, there is the text that came in. So if I'm this person's case manager, I can respond and say, no problem, Max. Would you like to send it over or schedule an appointment? Into the end user, it looks just like a normal text message conversation, and I'm going to respond and say, I'd love to come in and get help. And so you will see that text come in. And as I'm assisting more people, I can jump in between those conversations and I will get alerted. So if I'm operating this platform, the main question I get asked all the time is, how do I know when someone texts in? And you can have it set up so that you will actually receive notifications when people text in, whether it's via email or you can receive a little text message alert saying, hey, someone's in the queue, you need to jump in there and help them out. So that's kind of how the notification system works. All right, so that is the text messaging in a nutshell for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat and I will get to them either at the end or as we go here. So that is the texting platform that, again, is kind of helping you overcome that original challenge I talked about, the engagement component, right? Because if you can't communicate effectively with the people you're trying to help, it's going to be tough, right? Especially for these kind of workforce development services that do involve some time here, right? It's not usually a quick turnaround process, and this will help obviously shorten that time if you can communicate effectively with them and get them into a job as quickly as possible. So the next little challenge here is all about information accessibility. And I'm going to jump over to a little account here. I live in central Illinois, and there's currently about a little over a foot of snow on the ground. So I'm going to pull up the Virgin Islands mobile web app because it'll make me feel better, even if I'm pretending. So again, quick recap with the mobile web app. It's all about helping provide information and resources to folks as easily as possible. So it's helping you kind of consolidate the access to all of those different information and resources that you provide. And again, it's helping you overcome by having too much online all over the place. It's on paper still, it's on your desk, and it needs to be web-based, and it needs to be simple and easy to access. And that's what the mobile web app provides. So in this example, and it's a good example to share with everyone, and I'll give you all the chance to scan it if you'd like. If you scan this QR code, it will pull it up on your phone. Give you a quick little 10 seconds here, but quick recap, big advantages with the mobile web app. So there are no hard downloads required here, right? So we all just scan this QR code or we push out a text with a little clickable link. Boom, there it is. So they didn't have to hard download it. Two, zero IT required to build these out. And I'll show you some examples here in a moment. And three, they're really fast. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have ever been down the build an app, an actual hard downloaded app experience, or if you want to get something on the website for the organization you work with, what that process looks like. Hey, you submit a ticket, it has to go through a bunch of different approval processes, etc. And hopefully you're not 10th in line. So if you want to create content, get it online really quickly and get the message out and the word out about your programs as fast as possible. This is a great way to do it, right? Because it's all about closing that gap and the time required to get those people back into employment. Okay. So with the mobile web app, just like before with texting, there's a bunch of different tabs on the left side here for kind of the different content creation and management components of having a mobile web app. This navigation tab is how you manage your home screen. So if you wanted to create additional icons and clickable points inside of here, this is the page you would do it from. Super simple, but I'll run through some common use cases with Workforce that they use. Linking out their views page, which is just like the Work in Texas. It's just the territory sponsored job board. Training providers, upload your docs. So this is becoming very, very popular. Obviously, in workforce development, there's a lot of document exchange that happens. Each one of these bar navigations, and these can look and feel a lot of different ways, but in this case, the bar navigation will take them to a place where they can snap a photo of their resume, they can upload a file type, whatever it might be. And that goes for any of these kinds of documents that you might be trying to exchange with folks. Um, Hot jobs list, booking appointments directly at the job center. You can do that through here. So you pick your date and your time, fill out the little identifier information, and it will actually send them automated notifications and reminders for that appointment. Chat with us today will trigger a text message conversation. They have their events, their calendars. And something I wanted to make sure to point out here is all of you probably have web-based resources already, whether it's companies like Metrics Learning that offer online certification programs, or if you have other partnerships or established resources that people can access, you can easily link them inside of here and just consolidate and make it kind of the hub for all of those different things, right? So if you click on the Metrics Learning, it will redirect you straight to the page where you can create your login for it. Okay, so taking all those different resources and making them just super accessible for everybody is the goal. Now, how do you build content inside of here? So under build your pages, I'm going to go to a page that doesn't probably have a lot of traffic going to it all the time. Under these content and engagement little bars here, there's all these little different content engagement icons that you can create with. And this goes text, linking out buttons that take you to other resources or pages inside the mobile web app, little PowerPoint or carousel slides, any file type, so Word, Excel, PDF, so on and so forth, audio, video, maps that give you actually turn-by-turn navigation. You can embed an iframe existing websites so that they don't have to navigate outside of the mobile web app, but they can just access it directly inside of it. Fillable forms, quizzes, intake forms, comment boards, polls, surveys, you name it. A lot of the content, or really any of the content, can be created inside of the mobile web app. And you can do that by simply clicking on what kind of content you want to create. So if I want to add text to this page, I would click on the text icon, drag it into the builder window, and say, this is how you add text to your mobile web app. And you can center it and change it, font, color, whatever you want. And live in real time, there's the content you just added. And if you wanted to have a fillable form, maybe a registration for a job fair registration. There we go. And you want some identifiers out of those folks. You want to know their full name, their phone number, their email. Maybe are you currently employed? And there's a lot of settings, but there you go. You've got a little job fair registration form. You can grab the URL to this specific page and go text it out to 10,000 people and encourage people and start getting signups for them. So really quick and easy for creating content inside of these. And if you do, for example, have like a registration form or an intake form, something a little more complicated that you're not ready for it to be live and out there for people to view, you can simply click this little power button and toggle that content on or off. So when you're ready to go, you can turn it back on and there it is. I'm going to delete these real quick because it is a live page. And there we go. All right. And we do have some built-in templates that you can choose from. Again, these can look and feel a lot of different ways. Obviously, brand recognition is super important. So you can brand it however you'd like with your color schemes, your fonts. I'll show you some different examples. Let me get one pulled up that utilizes what we call a stacked image rather than those circle icons. Get one here. And this is for the We Care program in New York City. So it's going to be their TANF program specifically. So not a WEO project, but still workforce development. And obviously in New York, they have a lot of folks going through the TANF programs and they need some help in their process. So very similar use cases, right? But this is an example of a stacked icon template there. So looks a little cleaner in my opinion, but that's my opinion, right? So you can make them look and feel however you want. And lastly, I want to show you, because it is important, the reporting capabilities for both the texting and the mobile web app here. So reporting, we all love data. We have to turn in data. We want to see and measure how things are working. Are we being effective? Could we be doing better? We do have a whole robust texting and mobile web app reporting page here. All of these are different kinds of reports you can pull specifically related to texting, whether it's how many texts were sent out, how many were received, if people clicked links in the text, who clicked it, how many times did they click it, are people opting out? You can pull all of those different kinds of reports. And if you want to have transcripts of all the conversation that's happened between you and an individual or you and a bunch of people, you can pull those reports. Mobile web reports, same thing, a lot of different kind of reporting capabilities. General stats, so how many people are visiting it, what pages are they going to inside of the mobile web app, when are they going to it, any kind of data you're collecting inside of the mobile web app, if it's a fillable form, a poll, a survey, a quiz, whatever it might be, all of that data can be easily exported via Excel, PDF, or you can print it out and you can pull those reports based on time frames, etc. So that's kind of the data side of the different ways you can access it inside of our platform. All right. Do we have a question? The option to have each text use the customer's name doesn't seem to be working. Monica, Yes, it might not be turned on in your account. How you doing, Monica? You need some first name tokens turned on more than likely. So Monica asked about how to address each individual and what you can do. So it's on the right side, you should have this insert to text, and you can click on the first name or the last name, or these are for some custom fields that are blank in my demo account, but obviously you can create custom fields in yours if you want. So that is how you do it. I'll shoot you an email after this, Monica, and make sure it's live on your account. Monica. All right. I'll get you taken care of, Monica. Not a problem. All right. Well, that's been the little lesson on how Engage by Sell helps workforce development succeed, right? It's we all have the common goal of getting people employed or into programs to help them if they're underemployed or not employed. And we need to help them get to where they need to be as fast as possible. And to do so, it's all about being as efficient as possible, communicating as quickly and efficiently as possible, meeting them where they're at, which nowadays is on their phones, right? So that's kind of the goal and the mission that we help workforce development organizations with and Engage by Sell. And if anybody has any additional questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat window. And if you don't, I'll give it a quick little 30 seconds here. But thank you very, very much for joining me today. And if any of you have any questions, let me get it pulled up. I think I've got a slide with my contact information on here. Here we go. If any of you, excuse me, have any questions, please don't ever hesitate. Reach out to my email. It's super simple. It's just max@engagebysell.com, or there is my direct line. You can call me or text me on it, whatever's easiest for you. But in the meantime, uh, I hope all of you have a wonderful, happy holiday season and a wonderful new year. And if you ever are curious about text messaging or the mobile web app or what we do on grander scales across the country and how we fit into it all, please don't hesitate to reach out. But all of you have a great day. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your time and happy holidays, everybody.